Good morning, everyone. I'm heading out to run a couple errands. One of them is to go get hay for this, and also to put fresh hay in the coop. And also, I'm going to run to the church to take pictures of a few more baby blankets that I have and get them listed on my website. But this is the thing I was telling you that I bought last night at Walmart. Not this screen, I've had that screen. But this little tote, it came with a cover, of course, that is in the lean-to. That's the size. What I'll do is I'll put hay in there, food and water, and today I will move the babies into this. And this is the screen that I use. I've used this for all of my homemade brooders that I've made, and I will put this whole thing in the coop and they'll be fine. I've learned that you don't need a very tall, plastic tote. And when I raised my first flock, and then when I raised my 4 silkies, I had a real big tote, and it wasn't necessary, because they grow so fast that in a couple weeks they'll be out of this and they'll be running around. But this is so that they are out of that nesting box. The mom is off of them. The screen is so that they get air, and they'll be fine. I mean, I've raised 2 flocks this way, so I'll show you that when it's done. I'm sorry for that loud noise, but I'm right by the air conditioner. But the hens are, I'll show you from this point of view. I've showed you their yard from inside my yard, but I'll show you from outside. You see how big it is? Look, the extension. There's the rest of the wire, because there was no reason to cut it. At some point it can just be all rolled back up, but the extension starts here where my yard ended and comes all the way down this railroad tie. That's a good length, and then you can see how wide from there all this way past my garden. My garden there. You just got tricked. And it goes all the way over here. And it ends here. And then they have, this here where my bird feeder is, which I have bird seed in the car. I need to fill it. The bird bath, I need to rinse out that plate and put in water. And then it connects back here. Then, of course, they have their regular chicken run. But they are just loving it. Once I take Mama off those babies and those other eggs, I'll set her down in here. I don't believe those other eggs are fertile. And I'm not going to keep them in there because they'll rot. I'm just going to throw them out. I'm not going to open them up to see, because that would really bother me. But if they were fertile, they would have hatched by now. There's the daddy. Oh, look she's scratching. He might be up to something. He was trying some business the evening that this fence got put up. He was trying some business with one of my Easter eggers, and every time he'd get her pinned down, Abner and the other hens were in this garden, and look at him run. And the silky rooster and one of the Easter eggers were in their yard. And as soon as he'd pin her down and she'd squawk, Abner's head would shoot up. He'd start growing, and he took off running and went over there and messed things up, should I say. And Ronnie, the guy that put up this fencing, he was watching. He was saying, golly, that little rooster's fast. I said, he's fast like a road runner. It's amazing that there are any babies, because if he catches that rooster, the other rooster, he breaks it up. I said to him, it's amazing that there are any babies. Now he's going to come back, or he might have come back. No. He was talking about coming back and stapling that fence down, but I don't think it's necessary. I mean, they're not going to get out of there. But you can see there, this morning, one of my barred rocks, that's the black and white ones, were taking a dust bath there. I used to have 3 rows of onions all across here. I had onions. On that side I had cucumbers. In the middle I had tomatoes. Someplace I had string beans. But I think that had to be about 3 years ago. This soil is very rich. It is, when I got help to make this garden, I had worked for months and months. That was before the shoulder surgeries. I would come out here in the morning, early in the morning, and I would dig all the regular soil up, little by little. It took months to soften up that soil. And then my landlord came with the, he has here tractors, and he got some sand. He has piles of sand around, all different kinds of sand, and he dumped a couple buckets of sand in that soil, and I would work it to loosen up the regular soil. After I got all that turned over and worked up, he has a bunch of mulch down there in the back that's been sitting about 7 years. It is really rich and soft, and I'll show you when the time comes that sunflowers grow out of that mulch down there. And he brought 2 buckets of that mulch, and I worked it in. It was a lot of work preparing this soil to plant, but I did it. And then then the next year, that was like I did that all one summer and fall, just worked the garden. Then I remember come January the next year is when I planted my onions. The feed store had onion bulbs out, and I planted my onions in January of the next year. Then I just started, when it was time, I planted my cucumbers and tomatoes, string beans. Oh, I had radishes, but the rabbits got them because it wasn't fenced in, so they could just come and eat. Let's go see those hens again before I leave. I need to go get to the post office and get a priority box too, to put the blankets in that lady bought. What are you ladies doing? These are buff Orpingtons. I don't know. The other 2 must have gone in. Maybe they're laying an egg, or they're in their chicken yard somewhere. My other barred rock and my other Easter egger. They are just loving this. You can see in different places where they've already worked it down. It's going to be interesting. Big trucks going by. I wrote it down yesterday when this expansion happened, and when they first came in here, which was Thursday evening. Just going to keep track and see how long it takes them to work all this down. I know it don't take long, because when their yard, the hen yard, that was all tall grass when I first got my first flock. And It didn't take long for them to work it down. So I'm gonna go, but later on I'll show you when I put those babies in their new home. They're enough days old now that they don't need to be under mama. When you go to the feed store and you buy those chicks, they're just a day old. And so my chicks are more than a day old. And plus mama needs to get off those other eggs, and she needs to get out and forage and walk around and get back with the flock. That's important too. Because I notice when she does come down and get out, one of my barred rocks is not being nice to her, which I don't like because my barred rocks are very friendly. But one of them really picks at her once she comes out. Look at that beautiful rooster. So, there you go. So I'm going to end this and I'll be talking to you later.